If you don't speak, then you won't get spoken to. People only see you when you up, then they notice you. Trying to be a legend, create lines is quotable. Only the real shall last, and I only know a few. People when they feelings always acting emotional. Ain't about a check, then it ain't negotiable. Gotta show respect to the people that's posting you. Soon to be on posters posted up like the older dudes.
Now we aging like fine wine, how we supposed to do. Peep the shade on the timelines, that's how I'm supposed to cool. Shit is black and white like photos from a disposable. Certain situations you ain't end up uncontrollable. All up in their head, I be so confused. I just brush it off, peep the shoulder moves. We all got the same 24, so it's no excuse. Switch it up, we could rap or produce. The things you can't have is forbidden fruit.
It seem like people love telling lies.
Well, first of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your host, Nathan Snell, Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all staying safe. Hope your Saturday was great. The weekends just go by so damn fast. Maybe, am I the only one who feels that way? Maybe it's just me. This is episode 27 of season 10 of the podcast. In this episode, we are previewing the Washington Commanders versus those Detroit Lions. Before we get into that, there's a few things I like to say up front. By now, you should have seen episodes 25, 26 already uploaded. So this will go up tomorrow as well before the games. So I have these videos up for you guys in the morning. That's my light falls. Just previewing the Washington Commanders versus the Detroit Lions. Should be an interesting game. Talked about this with Bobby Wills. In terms of the season, really quick, I just want to say my soapbox. I'm not liking the fact that we've had the amount of injuries already. We're not even in week 2. DeAndre Swift is questionable to play. We all know Chase Young's out. I'm just not really liking what I'm seeing so far. And that bothers me a little bit. I know Jonathan Allen, I think, was questionable. He might miss the game. Just a lot of injuries. Some are questionable. Some may not play. I know the Lions had quite a few players that did not play. I think their starting center did not practice. I think he's with a groin or foot injury. Cole Holcomb, I think it was Friday. He was limited in practice. Jamin Davis is on a personal leave. I'm just not really feeling these injuries. It's not just with the Lions and the Commanders. This is across the league. Really interesting. And we're not even 2 weeks into the NFL season. But the Washington Commanders versus the Detroit Lions, a couple things. So when I look at the game, remember in game 1, week 1, the Washington Commanders came back and defeated those Jacksonville Jaguars. I thought the key was Carson Wentz, who was my offensive player of the game. 313 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, did throw two interceptions. This is what we have been looking for. We've made it clear that he's the upgrade from Taylor Heineke. And he did, and I expected him to show out. Um, not Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, excuse me. The running game wasn't that bad. Um, yes, it was okay. And actually, let me tell you about the running game was not that great. Excuse me. Um, I mean, just 58 yards on 4 yards per carry. Um, most of it was just running the ball. I mean, passing the ball. Excuse me. Where you had Curtis Samuel, McLaurin, Jaheim Dobson had the game-winning touchdown. When I look at this Washington offense, they need to take advantage of Detroit's corners. The only probably say corner I'd say is Jeff Old. He went to Ohio State. I can't think of his name, but I know his last Jeff O. That's what I'll call him. But I mean, like when you looked at the game, I mean, 8 first downs, particularly in this first half, 130 yards on 21 touches. That's what the offense needs. I would like to see the offense at. They did give 275 yards to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but remember, they don't have Chase Young. But it was again a don't bend, don't break defense. I'm curious to see, and I'm going to get to the defense in a second. I'm curious to see offensively what Washington's going to do because, like I said, Detroit does not have, other than I would say that the one corner I named, that can really contain Washington's deep receivers. I mean, Washington has playmakers, but I think another key is to what does the running game look like? Will we see the running game be better than what it was against Jacksonville? And I think it will be. When I'm looking at this game, I mean, when I even look at, let me transition to Detroit. Excuse me, I apologize. Detroit, even though they lost by 3 to the Eagles, yes, Jared Goff did okay. He had 215 yards. He did throw 2 touchdowns and a pick. I think that with this year, with the receiving core that he has, everybody, if healthy, the Detroit Lions can definitely do some things. I think adding DJ Shark was a good move. Yes, he only played 4 games last year. He did have over 1,000 yards receiving 2019. The defense, to me, is the elephant in the room. They last year were 24th against the pass and 28th against the run. Their number one overall, their pick, Mr. Aiden Hutchinson, didn't register a tackle, and I believe he will. The Lions were competitive, and I felt like Philadelphia took their foot off the gas and didn't close the game, because really Detroit should have won that game, but it came down to a game of possessions, ladies and gentlemen. I think that Washington is going to have to make some adjustments, particularly on the short end pass by Detroit. I feel like they're going to do some more things. Then they're going to see some more stuff that we saw in Detroit. I think they're going to definitely be aggressive. They're going to go all out. They're going to try to get going early. Yes, I would. This is the same Detroit Lion team that had 181 rushing yards. But that was, I think things will be better. Once again, I think you also have to take into consideration offensive line stays healthy. It's looking like 3 of their starters will not be playing, the left guard, center, and the right guard. That's definitely going to put a damper on things. And then also too, like I'm looking at the Detroit's offense. I can't really sneeze at that. I think when you got St. Brown, Shuck, TJ Hawkinson, I'm curious to see those matchups defensively. You know, Jamin Davis and Cole Holcomb on TJ Hawkinson. Jamin Davis, I feel like he's still learning. I'm hoping that he takes a step forward this year. I feel like he will be he'll be the assignment on TJ, particularly in the slot, depending on the scheme we want to run defensively. But more than likely, Cole Holcomb's going to be on him. I mean, and I'm looking at Jared Goff versus Carson Wentz. I think this will be a little interesting matchup because, ladies and gentlemen, these two were the first and second overall picks in their draft, respectively. Both have gotten heavily criticized, and for some, I understand for most of the reasons. Some of them I think are out of their control, but that's a whole other subject for another video. Yes, they're not perfect, but they've shown flashes of what they can be. It's interesting. Carson Wentz has not beaten Jared Goff in any of the times that they have met. That's interesting. I think that Jared Goff at times can be inconsistent, as I stated. And I feel like he was thrown under the bus when he was in Los Angeles. Then you have Carson Wentz, who I think does a little too much and then just has a mental block. Yes, but again, I think a lot of that was confidence. But I think when he was in Philly, I'm just saying when he was in Philly, I don't think Doug Peterson gave him the confidence. And I'll be honest, I don't think Frank Wright gave him the confidence. I think particularly last year in Indianapolis, the leash was short on Carson. We need you to get into us to the playoffs, or we look for somebody else. I definitely think this is going to be one of those games where I don't say it's going to be high scoring, but I could see both of them having good games. I'll say that they'll both throw for over 300 yards apiece, because watching the Lions last week against the Eagles put up 35 points, I have questions because the Commanders, Washington, we gave up almost 400 yards total against a Jacksonville Jaguar team that most people would say, like, you could at least come under 250. And also, too, let's be real. Detroit is a very competitive team at home. They won 3 of the last 4 home games. And the last 2 home games, they were by 3 or less points. I do expect the pass rush to be better. I do expect I think everybody for the most part will be fine. I just think this is going to be Washington's win because I just see them having a hard time really keeping an eye on McLaurin, Samuel, Logan Thomas. I just see struggles with the Lions defensively. But I also see the running game kind of being better as well. I don't think you're going to see 58 yards against Detroit. I think I see Antonio Gibson running at least, I'll say 125 for a touchdown. But I just think that I'm taking all the injuries in consideration. And on top of that, I think I'm going to take some flack for this. The Washington Commanders and the Detroit Lions will finish the game in a tie 30-30.
Guaranteed.
I think that's makes me crazy. I see that. If you pushed me, I got 2 scores. I see the Commanders winning 27-21. I see the Lions upsetting Washington 28-23. But I have a feeling this game's going to go into overtime. That's just me. Knowing what right now the momentum Detroit has, and particularly the momentum coming into this game from game one against the Eagles, I can see a game. This game going overtime, but also too, it's going to be interesting to see what the injuries look like for both us and Detroit. So be tuned in for that game. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude this episode. Be tuned in for future episodes. Again, appreciate the new subs. Appreciate the support you give at me, this YouTube channel. It's much appreciated. Like I said, the other 2 episodes, they'll be out momentarily. They'll be out in the morning. But until then, closing message, just start closing message. Closing message. When in doubt, never stop to think what helped you get over your obstacle and what could you do to help with the next obstacle, to get over that obstacle, if that makes sense. Whether it was through journaling, whether it's through prayer, whether it was through doing something for you, take a moment to reflect on what did I do to get over this obstacle, to get over the next one. That's my closing message. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, please like, comment, subscribe. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening. Enjoy these NFL games tomorrow and the WNBA Finals Game 3. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Y'all have a good night. Stay up.
But I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. Thanks for the kind words. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys if they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode and you want to see more content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bring your sports game on Big Nate Sports Talk.